Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. On today's episode, Gabe will be talking about why your sales efforts are failing and how to fix them. If this is you and you're experiencing this, then stick around. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. I'm grateful that you're taking time to tune in and watch this live, or if you're watching or listening to this later, I appreciate you taking time to tune in because it's my pleasure to be able to come on and share my experience and just give you any guidance and support that I can along your entrepreneurial journey, and in the marketing and leadership aspects of those parts of our lives. So just like Jethro said, I'm going to talk about how to fix your sales efforts if they're not working, if you're not successful with sales right now, if you feel like revenue is flat or low or non-existent, or if you're struggling, then we're going to talk through some things that will help you move forward and be effective on that front. And I bring this up because regardless of what size, company you are, if you're starting out as a brand new, startup and you're an entrepreneur, if you are a large established enterprise and you want to grow revenue, I find that these challenges come up with so many different size businesses. So it's not just, like I said, if you're starting out, there's definitely some unique challenges there, but a lot of these things reoccur and pop up no matter what size the business is in, because having worked with over 1,000 startups over the years, and having worked with companies that do multi-millions per month, and then having worked with everything in between, I see the same patterns, I see the same issues, and these are solvable problems. But in sales, it takes consistency and focus and persistence. And so we're going to talk through a few of the things that will help you be more successful in your sales efforts, and that way you can move forward and be successful. I also want to say, before I get into the kind of 3 points that we'll cover today, that this isn't going to be super sexy, super fun, super exciting. Anybody that's trying to sell you anything around sales, on that front, or is trying to, tell you that it's going to be easy or do these 3 things and you can make 6 figures, they're the only person that's going to make 6 figures, and they're going to make it off of you if you're paying them for that advice. And so I would just encourage you to realize that the most successful salespeople I know that have sold millions of dollars, like I have, and I know people that have sold into the, hundreds of millions, the ones that are really successful like that, they do the same things day in and day out. It's not flashy. It's just consistent. And that's just a huge foundational principle that we need to be aware of as we look at sales. So the first thing is, if you find that you're struggling in sales and you're struggling to have those initial conversations, one of the things that often occurs is that, or one of the challenges that's usually going on when that scenario is happening, is that people don't know who you are. And that's because your branding isn't consistent and effective. And so as a company and as a salesperson, the more that people see you, the more they're going to trust you. The more they hear about you, the more they're going to be comfortable having that initial conversation. And the more that you get out there and your brand as a company and as an individual is being promoted, the more that you are going to get unsolicited referrals. So what I've enjoyed, after spending, 15 years selling in this company and another, 10 years before selling in the company I had before, is that eventually people just get to know who you are because you keep showing up. And I know that sounds like a long time, but it makes sales a lot easier when you're just consistent in how you show up. So as an organization, for your company, being intentional about branding yourself through email marketing, through, branding ad campaigns, through getting on podcasts, through having your own podcasts, through posting on social media, from showing up at networking events, and just continuing to build your brand, that will make the rest of your sales efforts really, really, a lot more, a lot faster, a lot easier, compared to if you're not consistently putting your company name and your own personal face out there. I have a couple of good friends that I met at another friend's event, and one of them posts just consistently talking about what works in sales and things that you can consider and try. His name is Joe Graham, and so you can find him in my friends list or follow him. And I believe his podcast is called the $150,000 Podcast. I'm going on a podcast soon, so I think that's the name of it. But what I like about Joe is he's always positive. He's always posting. He shares really useful, sales tips and information. And that way people know, oh, I can go to Joe for sales coaching or sales training. And, he's somebody that you can trust, you can work with. He's just an incredibly kind, ethical, honest guy and really skilled in what he does and very successful in sales. And so he's somebody that can help on that front. So, but my point is, you could definitely talk to him. I would highly recommend that. And my point of sharing his story is that he shows up so consistently that people know who he is. He engages, on social media. He reaches out privately, like in private messages. He follows up. He's just really intentional about his relationship building, which essentially becomes a method of branding himself. And so branding yourself, getting out there, being consistent and being in conversations and showing up on a daily basis with positivity, and being somebody that other people want to be around is such a critical aspect of being successful in sales. The second thing is that your prospecting is probably inconsistent if you have inconsistent revenue dollars. And so one of the foundational things that I talk to all of my coaching clients about is figuring out a system that works for them, where they're going to reach out to a consistent number of people, 5 days a week, and do that consistently, over time. And my clients who implement that very quickly are able to add 6 figures and beyond to their business because they're just consistent in doing it. My clients that take a little bit longer to understand that concept or struggle with it, or to be honest, I've had clients in the past, not right now, fortunately, who totally ignored my advice about prospecting like that, and they don't make any money. Surprise, surprise, because they're not having enough conversations, not uncovering enough opportunities. So if your sales, is struggling, then take a good look at how consistently are you prospecting on a daily basis, because if you're not doing that, there's no way you can make money, not consistent money anyway. And I believe the book is called Fanatical Prospecting. And in that book, the author talks about how all your revenue as a salesperson comes from what you did 30 days ago. So if you're really honest with yourself today and you think, okay, January 18th, what was I doing? Or that week of January 18th, because that's a month ago from when we're actually, doing this live and recording this podcast. But again, if you just think back 30 days and if you look in your calendar, your notes, hopefully you have record of what you were doing, which is good to do. Were you prospecting? If you weren't prospecting and then you don't have sales today, that's why. And so as salespeople, yes, it's natural to want instant results. It's natural to want to get the most that we possibly can out of what we're doing, and we want to see it right away. But the reality is that we get paid, for our activity 30, 60, sometimes 90 days later, and even longer. So last week, I had somebody email me that I followed up with multiple times in 2016, long ago, which is crazy, 6 years ago. And they emailed me last week and said, hey, I'm ready to build the website, and had a sales call with them. Deal's essentially done. We got to review some things that they're gonna sign it next week. But it was a very easy sales conversation because I consistently brand myself, so they know who I am on social media via email, and I followed up consistently. And now, even though most of the time you're going to get results or paid for the prospecting you did a month ago, there's times that you will get paid for the prospecting you did years ago if you continue to be consistent and show up. And so I can't say it enough, but if you are not creating a system where you're prospecting on a daily basis, especially if you're an entrepreneur and a founder in startup mode, you are often the biggest sales driver. And especially if you're in a sales role, if you don't have a consistent prospecting method that you use on a daily basis, there's no way you're going to get consistent sales and revenue. So I know that's boring. I know it doesn't sound fun, and I know it's not always easy, but if you do those things, you'll get results. Just like if you start today and do 1 push-up today and 2 tomorrow and 3 the next day and 4 the day after, eventually you will be able to get to the point where doing 100 push-ups in a day is not that difficult. And I say that because it's true, and it's something that I personally practiced, and now do 100 push-ups a day pretty easily. And it's just building up your activity level, your focus, and your tolerance to something that may feel a little bit difficult. The third thing that is important to look at if your sales numbers are struggling, if you're not doing as well as you'd like to, is looking at your offer. Because if your offer isn't right, then it means that you're offering something that people don't want or don't need, or you're positioning it in a way that it's just not that attractive. And so often I see, entrepreneurs who are, and salespeople and just, even folks that are just developing products inside of their organizations, they position the valuable aspects of the offer in a way that doesn't help them sell it. And if you even just strategically think about what you're offering and rearrange how you talk about it, how you position it, the value and the pricing, then you can actually, sell more of it. And so looking at your offer is really important. Figuring out what people want and then finding out how to give it to them in a way that makes them feel at ease in buying and makes them feel secure about the investment they want to make. Those are really, really critical steps as well. And so those are just three of the things that, in my experience and opinion, are really critical to pay attention to. First, make sure that you are personally branding yourself and you're branding your business you can do that through organic methods, through paid methods, but make sure that you're branding yourself on a really consistent basis. The second thing is making sure that your prospecting plan and activity is really consistent on a daily basis, because if you do that, you're going to get good results. And then third, look at your offer and figure out, is this something that is so good that people can't resist it? If it doesn't feel that way, if I'm not getting those results, then how do I design, an offer that is going to attract folks in that manner? The good news is we can help you with your branding. We can actually show you prospecting methods that have been really effective for our clients. You can apply those. And we do help our clients come up with irresistible offers that help them grow their business. And so if you need help, please reach out. You can comment down below. You can message me on whatever platform you're seeing this, or you can go to businessmarketingengine.com. And I look forward to seeing you on the show Monday.